Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Reviews. Today we have up the EHX Ravish Sitar. It's one of my personal favorite specialty pedals or boutique pedals, whatever you want to call it, exotic pedals, whatever. Um, it's a very unique pedal. That's the main reason why it's on my pedal board. If you guys notice something about my whole entire pedal board I use, everything is very specialized to and things that aren't specialized are things I use a lot of variations of, like courses. But this particular pedal you're not going to find in anybody's multi-effects processor at the moment, at least. And, it has a very unique sound, so let's get into it a little bit. All right, so that's one of my settings I've crafted from the presets. The presets that come on there are very good, and give you a very good sense of what the pedal is capable of. And I personally use this pedal in either things like that, like you just see me do. I might use it for like pads and different things like that in conjunction with, say, like the Hog 2, things like that when I'm doing pads. Um, as well as, I've been trying to find a need to incorporate it into a bass line somehow. I might have to do it as a layer, um, you know, but, I always try to, all these little pedals, I always find a little bass hack for you all to add some. So we're going to dig into it. I'm going to see if I can come up with one for you guys today. But, so this setting here is pretty much a lot of dry signal in there. You can hear a lot of dry signal, but you also have two other signals in there: the lead sound and the what is this? The sound, symphonic sound. I'm stupid. Sympathetic. Ugh. A boy can't read. I haven't even looked at the pedal in so long in terms of the labeling because I've had it for a while. But let me see. Separate some of these things for you guys. So we're gonna get into just the and as you can see, this part is meant to emulate the vibrating resonant strings of the sitar. It has strings that you actually play, and then it has other strings that just vibrate as you play. And this pedal allows you to actually assign what those tuning are to those resonant strings, and this is pretty much that. You can also change the timbre of that, change the tone of that. See, that's too harsh, So you probably want to bring that down. So right now it's just only set to hit on E and B. So if I hit other notes, those still ring. So that's that setting. Here's the lead part of the sound. The sound of the strings you would actually be playing. Oh, let me take some of this other little stuff off. I got a few little pad. Um, just decided to add some reverb and some delay. You know, that doesn't come standard in the sound just because otherwise it just sounds too harsh without you know, giving it an actual space, sonically to be in. So I try to make sure that I have a nice delay and reverb on when I'm using it. And that's with the tone all the way down. Let's increase tone a little bit. And of course it's EHX, so the tracking is amazing with it. But I tend to keep it on more the mellow side of things. Sorry about that, guys. And this is what a mix of the lead and the pretty much the pad sound. I'm just gonna call it the pad sound. Add in your dry sound. So you get all types of. You can also set it to the key that you're in. You can change the key. And that's mostly for this, what is it, the sympathetic sound or sympathetic or whatever that is, sympathetic sound, whatever. Um, that the keys is for. It changes. If I change this. Now it's ringing out of tune. You see what I'm saying? Compared to you put it in the right key. Oh, sorry. In the actual right key. Like I said, you can get some beautiful pad sounds with this thing. You can open that. We can also add a drone expression pedal to um, control the drone or the pitch. You know, so you could change that pitch on the fly. And then when you go outside the key, if you still use some notes that's inside the key, you can make it work. But you see, it's trying to push it down to that B flat or up to that C. Actually, it's trying to push it down to that B flat. So maybe you can only hit it real quick. Something like that. And this is being recorded through my bass amp, this particular Harkey XT600 bass head, and through a Fender Bassman 115 Neo, recorded by a Zoom H5 mic, and then I have a talkback mic which is catching a little bit of it as well. But it definitely I would say, guys, this is definitely one of my favorite pedals, I have to say. You got your presets. Some E major. It's such a pretty sound, like, especially if you used to add like some chorus, just a little clear stereo chorus. Take the chorus off. Add some Hog 2 in there. I be giving y'all too many secrets, man. I be giving y'all too many of my secrets and my pads and stuff, man. Y'all got to like and share this stuff more. So you could take this sitar if you don't have a hog 2. You could take this, a pog, or one of the other smaller polyphonic octavers they offer, and something like a super ego or super ego plus if you got it, you know, and create these same things, you know, with the glissando mode and different things like that. And that's what I'm I guess this isn't as much as a tutorial as it is more so a demo of the sounds and the way I use it. So, you know, there's other videos. I mean, it's not really much to explain about the pedal. You know, yes, you can add modulation as well through the pedal. So, the way you would do that, let's see, let's click. You can also change the decay on those sweeps because when you hear it, we'll get into that in a second. But this is the modulation on the sound, so this is with it all the way on 0. This is with it on 5. Off, on, and swirling. That's the modulation. Now we changing the decay. And as you can see, as I'm turning it up, that stays open a lot longer, up in the higher range of it. You go now sweeping a little bit faster. Now it's almost instantly. A little further up. Really long decay. And with that, the difference is, let me turn off this real quick. And right, versus all with the decay all the way up. It's gonna take a really long time to come down, but if you use a lower number compared to so this is how you shape the sounds differently, you know. And back to that modulation thing. No modulation. Lot of modulation. So it's like a little chorus, like slight little chorus effect to it. So as you can hear, flipping through the keys, you know, you hear it changing a little bit as well. So yeah, those are the basic, you know, pretty much options you have to shape the sound, which is quite a bit, you know. Once you get your stuff set up, you know, you have different. So as you can see, like, you know, you can have a setting that's just with the lead sound. You know, you run that into something. You know, you gotta run that into like a Marshall or something. You know, you got to try out different stuff. Run that to a Marshall, bring it down a bit. You know, if you wanted to come down, just have like a little, you know, underneath. Layer that with like some Hog 2 in there. You know, you could change the tone of it as well to bring it. Without it. With it. Bring that tone out a little bit more. You know, so you just play around with settings. the settings. See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of the settings, they're good, but as soon as you get them, you gotta tweak them a bit. It's just that it's usually the tone is too open. And I'm sure if you did some tone shaping on. Bring that dry signal up. And actually, this sound I would use for like more pad type thing. Bring it down, of course. It's perfect for that type of stuff, or just those volume swells. Whatever it is you want to do with the sound. So, I'm just going through some of the presets to give you guys a good gist. And if you have it tuned to a key, it also has this drone feature. Let me see. Hold the pedal, or they just hold the drum. So I want to. Does it just do it? Nope. So you actually have to play the chord, or you could it'll hold that. Just depends on what you play. Depends on what part of the drone it will hold, you know. So, you know, that's also a nice little feature that you could do with the expression pedal. You don't have to press it like that. See what other presets we got here, because you get 10 presets to save and all that good stuff. You know, if you add a little vibrato to that, it's kind of sweet too, you know. Let me see it. Let's add a sequence filter. So it's a lot of little stuff you could do. You just experiment with different tones with it. That's just a little vibrato with a little pre-delay on there. And what it does is it allows the sound to ring through, and then after a few milliseconds, then the vibrato kicks in, just like it naturally would when you're playing. I don't like my vibrato to just be on. I like it to kick in after I'm holding a note for a certain amount of time. That way, it's more like a singing. Yeah, so that's pretty much the Ravish Sitar in a nutshell. It's absolutely one of my favorite pedals. That's how it's earned a spot on my pedal board. But so have a lot of Electro-Harmonix pedals, as you guys can see from my reviews and just seeing my pedal board in general. But if you don't have it and you haven't checked it out, check it out. If you're into chordal playing and pads and different things like that, you will not be disappointed. And wait till you get it into the software and a DAW, and you really can do some tone shaping to the sound and compression and you know, add some different colors to it. it really comes alive and shines in that territory as well. So I would say check it out for sure. It's actually on a few of my records. If you want to check them out, it's either you can find it on Spotify or Amazon, all of that stuff. You can either look up All Bass Creations or the Bass Negus, and they're actually All Bass Creations is still gonna be under Reggie Payne. That's the first album I did with just my effects and pedal board. So almost all of my pedals and effects are on that album because everything was done with just my bass and effects, no MIDI or none of that, no keyboards, none of that. And then check out the stuff with the bass niggas, and that's all my newer stuff where some of it I'm playing all the instruments on bass, keys, and drums. A lot of all the lead sounds are pretty much bass. Just with effects on there. Like I said, I don't actually own a guitar, so all my guitar stuff is done with my bass, and that's the only reason I don't own a guitar. But yeah, if you guys would like to check out all my stuff, it's on allbasscreations.bandcamp.com. So again, that's allbasscreations.bandcamp.com. I would greatly appreciate it. And again, this has been another All Bass Creations Effects tutorials, demos, and review. I am the Bass Negus. You can find me on all social media, the Bass Negus, Negus, and TheBassNegus. Excuse me, Negus. Yes, that's right. I said it right. I know I see. I be having a hard time, but I'm in there. But I definitely appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Let me know what other pedals you guys would like to see me do a review on. I think I'm gonna do another review on the or my first review on the Electro-Harmonix V256, which is their big vocoder pedal that I use on a lot of my records and stuff like that. This is the most flexible vocoder I've come across and the best sounding one for bass. So stay tuned for that, and as well as check out my review of the um, OC5, Boss OC5, and the Zoom B6, as well as the Harkey TX600 and the Ampeg PF500. Also, all reviews I've done in the last couple weeks. So check them all out on my page. Subscribe, like, and share. Comment. Let me know what pedals or gear you guys would want me to do a review on next. I'm also going to be doing something on using the B6 as a preamp. So we'll be going straight into the power amp of a bass head and using the amp model heads in amp simulations in the B6 as amp heads. And we're going to see how close they sound to the originals just from the audio. But all right, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace. Subscribe, like, and share.